Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We've got a video on some new Alpha 4.0 features, locations in Pyro, NPC factions, and a load of additional dev responses on the latest Inside Star Citizen Alpha 4.0 conflict resolution. So yeah, I saw these on Reddit. They talk about stealth gameplay, missions, and NPCs. CIG have shown that there's a load of different combat opportunities in Pyro. Pyro is lawless. A firefight can break out potentially anywhere. It's very Wild West. A bit of a worry though, because they said you could effectively be attacked while you're shopping. So you could be at a kiosk buying stuff, buy it, and then get attacked. And then they steal all your stuff. Hopefully in those situations, the NPCs will effectively aggro to the aggressor. So you'll have some level of protection. They're not going to be police or anything like that. But it's going to be, they are going to be protecting that zone to a degree. The new Pyro outposts are built with combat in mind though, both on foot and potentially with vehicles, though it's going to wildly vary based on the outpost. They also suggested that changing inventories at shops could mean that there's changes in items that are on display that will then be able to be used as cover. So effectively, the cover will change around some of these shops and areas as the stock changes. Something else that's coming in Alpha 4.0 is a load of expanded NPC behaviors for guarding, attacking, and this combined with server meshing and networking improvements with higher, more stable server frame rates, at least hopefully, should make a significantly better FPS experience for players in 4.0 and a generally better AI and NPC experience. They have schedule areas as well now for NPCs. Basically, they set a zone and NPCs stay within that zone doing various tasks and patrols. There are sniper towers and watch nests as well. These can be useful to get elevation on an area, look around, plan stuff, but also dangerous if full of enemy spotters and snipers. There are different classes of NPC combatants that they showed with specific loadouts, traits, and behaviors. So this is sort of an evolution of what we saw at last year's CitizenCon and some of the Squadron 42 features coming across. So NPCs might hold up in a room with a shotgun and or lock you down and push you or run or use tactics with other NPCs. So there's different archetypes like the techie. They have light armor, they use SMGs, they're relatively aggressive, trying to get close to you to flush you out or flank you. There's a CQC, close quarters combat sort of archetype, again similar to the techie, but they use shotguns, maybe medium armor. They are very high aggression. Their NPCs aren't going to be dum-dums. They're not gonna sort of kung fu you. They're not gonna attack you one by one. The Juggernaut is another class here. Very heavy armor, uses sort of light machine guns, slow but direct in their sort of movements and intention, coming towards you, slowly pushing you constantly. There are also going to be NPC pet Copians and stuff like that with collars, so they will fight alongside those other gang and faction members. Different factions may have different traits as well, stats and behaviors beyond that as well, or ones that influence those archetypes. There are two primary factions in Pyro for you to be able to sort of join up with in 4.0 anyway. There's the Headhunters. Some of the rewards that they have are tiered, cool looking armor, sort of structured armor. The higher sort of level stuff is more tanky, more resistant. I think one of these helmets that they had there was the Skull Hollow helmet that we've wanted for quite a while, so that's a bit of Star Citizen history right there. There's also Citizens of Prosperity, another faction you can join with. They have more civil weaponry. They have a line to get less illegal things, so it's less Castac arms in their weaponry and more bearing. So I'm going to be preferring Citizens of Prosperity because I'm more lawful in my gameplay for the most part, and typically more sort of leaning on the good scale. Both factions are fighting each other and Xenothreat, which also live in the Pyro system. Xenothreat being very well geared, and they act more like a PMC, a private military company. They operate out of Pyro 2, 3, and 6. Xenothreat act more cautiously and dig in. They're sort of more accurate, and they conserve ammo in their sort of fighting style. There's going to be sabotage and infiltration missions in 4.0, sort of getting into an outpost, disabling something, or blowing up fuel. There's also, they showed off a stealing scrap mission, so you literally need to go to a salvage yard and steal as much scrap as you can in FPS before before getting out. They also showed off a mining facility town. There was another one called Shadowfall, where there's like a massive shadow of a mountain on this like little town, and which is next to a lake. They had a load of like temporary fortifications here. There are a load of defenses that can appear at like locations, especially if they're owned by Xenothreat, who, as I said, are more PMC like. But you might need to take out these anti-air defenses or these ground turrets or whatever to be able to approach them in different ways. So, after this Inside Star Citizen, there were a load of additional dev responses, a load of questions asked on Reddit, and I believe it's Zach Priest that turns up, the senior FPS system designer at CIG. They answer a load of these questions. So, did I miss something? And they added stealth mechanics to the game. They keep mentioning stealth, but it doesn't exist mechanically at all. And the reasons for using ground vehicles looks like it's just because we wanted to show them in this video. Honestly, concerning that the devs think a lot of this stuff, they are just straight up making it up from their imagination when talking about it, and none of it's in-game or being added. So Zach responded to this. It does exist. NPCs have perception meters, they have stealth tells. We've got new stuff in for 4.0 to make stealth better, including different perception profiles to make NPCs have more suitable vision profiles for in and out of combat. NPCs have things such as investigations. You can throw things to distract them. NPCs investigate corpses. It's just the spaces never supported that, and we're working towards outposts supporting this. This includes things such as setting up patrol paths and having specific NPC patterns in outposts that you can watch and learn as well as manipulate. You'll see this with raised elevation areas where you can observe before you go in. Idea is with server meshing, server frame rate is high enough for all of this to be responsive enough to make a proper stealth experience. We're really pushing ground combat NPCs at the minute to build a proper experience. I hope you saw the large improvement in 3.23, and we intend to keep this velocity. So yeah, I mean, they're trying to get this stuff nailed down. As far as I'm aware, server sort of frame rates are one of the major issues preventing NPCs from acting appropriately for AI. A load of the problems that they're having are tied to that. So hopefully 4.0 will be a genuinely magnitude better. There was another question. Is there a plan to have ground FPS AI react appropriately to our ground vehicles? Again, Zach responded, we intend for there to be anti-vehicle NPCs who either grab railguns from the environment or have railguns in their loadouts that focus on vehicles. These NPCs will be at outposts and such. Hopefully more to share with you sooner, but NPCs having vehicle-specific responses is really important and is something we're lacking even with things like Copians. So very aware of it and plan to address it. Another question, how would we be able to manipulate such NPC patterns? Assassin's Creed, as an example, has the ability to throw something to alert them, to inspect the place of impact, or to whistle. Correct, you can throw things like bottles, mags, weapons, and that will cause them to investigate. I'm hearing terms like bespoke and carefully crafted. What happened to procedural generation? Bespoke and carefully crafted take man hours. I thought one of Turbulent's jobs was to create the tools necessary to crank these things out quickly, so it doesn't take literal years to create one system. Zach again responds here, we're moving towards templates for encounters for areas, so we have specifically crafted encounters that are fun but are scalable for multiple locations. That way you have handcrafted content that is fun and engaging whilst it being able to be applied to multiple locations. It's a bit complicated to go over it in a Reddit comment, but it's standardizing encounters whilst also making them a lot more in-depth. Boom! That's it for your updates today. I really liked that Inside Star Citizen conflict resolution video. I'll link it down below if you want to watch the full thing. But yeah, Alpha 4.0, because of the expansion into Pyro and because of these sort of new outposts and factions and everything, there's just a huge amount going on. So much going on that it's just huge amounts of features. All these features are massive. Even the ones that look pretty minor, actually, they've got quite a lot of meat on their bones. Do you think we're going to have Alpha 4.0 by the end of the year? That's what CIG have basically said. And if so, when do you think it will turn up? Do you think that we're going to be in a good situation when that patch goes live, or is it going to be a 3.18 situation? Everything's going to be broken. Do you think they're actually going to be able to have NPCs and AI in a good state like they want for that patch, or is that going to be broken until they really, really optimize the game and sort of get it into a version 1.0 release? I'm quite looking forward to stealth as well. If the stealth is working well in that game, and they're not all genome soldiers where they've got the actual no sight lines, then I think it will be pretty good fun. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Also, actually, before I go, the Tobii eye tracker is on sale if you want some sort of high precision eye and head tracking for Star Citizen that's natively supported. Then check that out. Links below. You can get it cheap at the moment. You stand at the pearly gates. The winged being there weighs your sins against the weight of a feather. You are found wanting. Not a problem for nordvpn.com/BoredGamer though. Just change your location. Boom! You're in. Bypass your sin. Get nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Probably not a tagline that Nord wants, bypass your sin, but that's what they're getting. Maybe they want one about its added security, privacy, or accessibility. Pah, everyone knows that. You get that at a touch of a button. Click these links below to get great deals on that VPN service. Every month we give away a ship, and this month of August is all about your favourite ships, because it's the ship showdown. My favourite ship is the Mercury Star Runner, and I don't want to give one of those away, but I will. It's a fantastic little multi-role, multi-crew ship. It's got a bit of cargo space, it's got room for a little vehicle, it's got a good amount of firepower, perfect little mission runner. In the future it's going to have data running, it's good for smuggling, it's got lots of secret little hidey holes. I absolutely love this ship. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during August. Also, I would love to know what your favourite ship is. If you would like to further support the channel, consider just commenting or liking, subscribing. That all helps. But also there's the join button under my videos. That goes a huge way to allow us to make daily content on Star Citizen. There's also Patreon, sharing the videos, direct donations. There's links to all of that down below. Thank you so much for watching to the end. You take care and have a great day.